Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Boebert, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for holding this important markup. The Trust the Science Act delists the gray wolf from the federal endangered species list and returns the issue of wolf management to states and tribal wildlife agencies. Specifically, the Trust the Science Act requires the Secretary of Interior to reissue the 2020 Department of the Interior final rule that delisted gray wolves in the lower 48 United States and ensures that the reissuance of the final rule will not be subject to judicial review. Gray wolves were first listed under the Endangered Species Provision Act in 1967. That's 55 years ago. In 2009, the Obama administration upheld the decision to delist gray wolves when the Interior Secretary, Ken Salazar, a Democrat from my home state of Colorado, announcing the decision at a press conference that the Fish and Wildlife Service decision to delist gray wolves was a, quote, supportable one. Scientists have concluded that recovery has occurred, end quote. In 2011, Congress directed USFWS to reinstate a rule to delist the gray wolf in the Northern Rocky ecosystem. In 2013, the Obama administration proposed delisting gray wolves in the lower 48 states. In November 2020, scientists and nonpartisan career employees at the Department of Interior once again found gray wolves were fully recovered and once again issued a rule that returned management of gray wolves, the population, to states and tribal wildlife agencies. Unfortunately, frivolous litigation was filed by the Defenders of Wildlife, Wild Earth Guardians, and other extremist groups, and an activist Californian judge subsequently pandered to these groups by vacating the 2020 rule and unilaterally relisting the gray wolf by judicial fiat. In April of 2022, the Biden administration appealed the ruling of this California activist judge and supported the 2020 rule that delisted gray wolves in the lower 48 United States. In the 115th Congress, the House of Representatives passed similar legislation to my bill by a vote of 196 to 180, with 9 Democrats voting in favor of passage. State and tribal wildlife agencies have a proven record of successfully managing wolves. In fact, Montana's successful state management resulted in gray wolves being 500% above Fish and Wildlife Service recovery goals. Idaho's successful state management resulted in gray wolves being 700% above recovery goals. There are now an estimated 6,000 wolves in the lower 48, which greatly exceed the agency's recovery goal of 650 wolves. Furthermore, there are an estimated 7,000 to 11,000 gray wolves in Alaska, and there are an estimated 30,000 gray wolves in Canada. Let's do as my bill says and trust the bipartisan science and pass this bill so we can finally delist the recovered gray wolf and focus scarce taxpayer funding on endangered species that actually need help being recovered. Mr. Chairman, with that, I yield back.